The morning sun slowly rises over the crowded streets of Manila, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. Amid the honking jeepneys and shouting vendors, a man named Rico pushes his small wooden cart through the narrow alleys. His cart is filled with banana Q, boiled corn, and bottled water, the simple items he sells every day just to make enough to survive. The air smells of fried oil and smoke, but Rico's soft humming brings a gentle calm to the chaos. Rico is in his late 30s, wearing a faded shirt and slippers that have seen better days. His face is tired but kind, marked by years of hard work under the sun. As he hands a skewer of banana Q to a young student, he smiles and says, "Salamat, ingat ka." The girl waves goodbye, and Rico watches her go, a quiet pride flickering in his eyes. Between customers, he wipes sweat from his forehead and glances at the small, worn-out radio sitting on his cart. A familiar tune plays, an old love song, and Rico hums along, his voice surprisingly deep and beautiful. Music is his escape, his dream, the one thing that reminds him who he truly is. Just a few meters away, a bright poster flaps in the breeze. It reads, "Got Talent Philippines 2025, Open Auditions. Dreams welcome here." Rico stops pushing his cart for a moment, his eyes lingering on the poster. A soft smile crosses his face, mixed with fear and longing. He whispers under his breath, "Maybe, it's time to try." As the city wakes up around him, Rico stands still, a poor vendor with a big dream burning quietly inside his heart. The next morning, the atmosphere inside the Got Talent Philippines 2025 audition venue is electric. Bright lights flash, cameras roll, and hundreds of hopefuls stand in line, singers, dancers, magicians, and comedians, each clutching their dreams tightly. Laughter, chatter, and nervous whispers fill the air. Among the crowd, Rico sits quietly in a corner, holding his old guitar. Its wooden surface is scratched and dull, but he polishes it gently with a handkerchief, treating it like a treasure. His clothes are simple, a clean shirt, old jeans, and sandals, making him look out of place among the flashy costumes and confident contestants. He watches others rehearse loudly, showing off their vocal runs and dance moves. Some notice him and whisper, "Vendor lang siguro, yen, he's probably just a vendor." Rico hears, but doesn't respond. He lowers his head and closes his eyes, whispering a short prayer for courage. Moments later, a production assistant calls his name, contestant 142, Rico de la Cruz. His heart races as he steps toward the stage entrance. The bright lights almost blind him as he walks out to face the judges, three famous celebrities known for their sharp criticism. One of the judges leans forward and asks kindly, "Hi, Rico. What do you do for a living?" Rico grips his guitar tightly and answers softly, "I sell food on the street, sir, but music has always been my dream." The audience gives a polite clap. Some smile, others remain skeptical. The judges exchange curious glances. "All right, Rico," says another judge. "Show us what you've got." Rico takes a deep breath, steps toward the microphone, and strums his first chord. His hands tremble slightly, but his eyes shine with determination. The moment of truth has arrived. The stage falls silent as Rico stands under the bright spotlight. For a moment, the noise of the audience fades, only the faint hum of his old guitar fills the air. His hands tremble slightly, but when he takes a deep breath, a calm strength seems to rise from within him. He strums the first gentle chords of "You Raise Me Up," blending the melody with soft Tagalog phrases. His voice starts low and shaky, but with every note, it grows steadier, richer, more powerful. The sound carries an emotion so raw it silences the crowd. The camera zooms in on his face, eyes closed, brow furrowed, singing as if releasing every hardship he's ever known. The audience watches in awe. Even the judges, at first skeptical, begin to lean forward. One of them whispers, "He's incredible." When Rico hits the chorus, "You raise me up, so I can stand on mountains," his voice fills the entire hall. His tone isn't polished like a professional singer's, but it's pure, full of soul, and every word feels like it's coming straight from the heart of someone who has lived through struggle and hope. The crowd begins to cheer softly, then louder, until applause breaks out mid-song. Rico keeps singing, tears glistening in his eyes as the golden lights shimmer around him. The judges exchange emotional looks, one of them discreetly wipes a tear. As the final note fades, Rico lowers his guitar and bows his head. The hall explodes with cheers and a standing ovation. For a few seconds, he just stands there, overwhelmed, unable to speak. This is the moment he's dreamed of his entire life. The world has finally heard his voice. The crowd is still roaring when Rico finally looks up. His chest rises and falls with heavy breaths, his eyes glistening with disbelief. For a moment, he just stands there in silence, soaking in the applause that feels like a warm wave washing over him. One of the judges, a famous singer known for her tough critiques, leans toward the microphone. Her voice trembles slightly as she says, "Rico, you didn't just sing, you touched our hearts. Every word, every note, felt like your story." The audience cheers louder. Another judge adds, "You came here looking nervous, but you reminded us why this show exists, to find real, hidden talent." The third judge smiles, eyes softening. "I think, we've just witnessed something special." Rico bows again, clutching his guitar tightly. His lips quiver as he whispers, "Maraming salamat pa, thank you so much." The audience begins to chant his name, Rico. 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 Then, without warning, the female judge stands up, tears streaming down her face. She looks toward her fellow judges, nods once, and slams her hand onto the golden buzzer. A sudden explosion of golden confetti fills the air, swirling around Rico like a storm of light. The music swells as he covers his face, falling to his knees in pure emotion. The audience leaps to their feet, clapping and shouting in joy. The host rushes onto the stage, helping Rico up. He's crying openly now, smiling through the tears. This is for my family," he says softly into the microphone. "For everyone who never stopped believing in me." The golden lights shimmer around him as he lifts his hands toward the ceiling. For Rico, this isn't just victory, it's the moment his dream finally takes flight. The stage lights fade, but the sound of applause still echoes in Rico's heart. Backstage, he stands trembling, still covered in golden confetti. Crew members and contestants rush to congratulate him. When he sees his family, his wife and 2 children, waiting behind the curtain, he breaks down completely. His daughter runs into his arms, shouting, "Papa! You did it!" He kneels, hugging them tightly, tears streaming down his face. Later that evening, clips of his performance flood social media. The headlines read, "From street vendor to star, Rico Dela Cruz wins hearts with golden buzzer performance." Videos of his song trend across the country, reaching millions of views overnight. People on buses, in markets, and online share his story, a symbol of hope in hard times. Days pass, and Rico returns to the same street where it all began. The city looks different now, brighter, somehow. Children gather around his cart, which he still pushes, even though people recognize him everywhere. "You're the man from TV," one little boy shouts. Rico smiles warmly and hands him a free banana cue. When asked by a reporter why he still sells on the street, he answers simply, "Because this is where I started." I'll never forget. That night, as the sun sets, Rico sits by his cart with his guitar, softly singing the same song that changed his life. His voice blends with the sounds of the city, cars, laughter, and the quiet hum of dreams. He looks up at the stars and whispers, "Thank you." For Rico, fame was never the goal. It was hope, to prove that even from the humblest beginnings, a pure heart and a song can rise higher than anyone ever imagined.